Okay, hi everyone. We're on the third video, and this is about putting heat transfer vinyl on the Creative Memories Bookcloth albums. And I'm going to do a smaller album this time because I've ran out of bigger albums to do. So with the Bookcloth albums, I consider Bookcloth to be a fabric, and when you're doing a fabric and you want something put on permanently, you need to use heat transfer vinyl. The heat transfer vinyl that I use is Scissor Easy Weed, and I get that at Amazon. So here is Cricut Design Space, and I have made what I want on the spine of my album. And so we're at the point where we're going to make it. And if you want to learn how to make it in Design Space, the first video that I did explains that. So now this is loaded in and ready to print. It gives you a picture of what it looks like on the mat. Again, I didn't make it so you could see it better, but when it's on this mat, there's a red line that goes down the sides and the top, and that's where you're safe to be in, and I like to pull my design away from that a little bit so that I don't end up cutting anything off by accident. When you're using heat transfer vinyl, you are going to come here and you're going to mirror your image. That makes it so that it's kind of like the iron-on patches that they have for jeans. It's made with the same thing and works the same way as that. So once you have mirrored it and you have it where you want it on your paper or on your board, then you can click continue. Once you click continue, it loads it into the Cricut, and it should come up in a minute here. Yep. Okay, so the first thing I do when I'm doing HTV is check to make sure the mirror is on. And then you want to make sure you're set to vinyl, and that is set to vinyl. And then you can load your tools and mat. Once you, when you get the HTV vinyl, it is different than the regular vinyl. The regular vinyl has a grid on the back of it. HTV does not. So the HTV comes with a super shiny side and then a little bit of a shiny side on the other. I hope you can see it here. But the super shiny side goes down, and then you load it into the Cricut. And once you've loaded it in, then you can press the cut button, and it begins to cut. And what will show up on your computer is the percentage that it has already cut, so you have an idea of how much longer you have, and it begins to cut. Okay, so it's now done. We're going to eject it out of the Cricut and bring it over here. I don't know if you can see it or not on there. It's really small, but yeah, you can see. And so now we begin to weed. This is really small, so it's probably going to take a while, but first I take the little ovals out of, like this is an A. I take it out. There's another A. The oval part of the P and the O. And so those are all the letters that have something like that. And then I begin to work on these little areas that need to just be loosened up, so when I begin to peel it back, it comes off easy without tearing up the letter that you just cut. So all these little spaces where it curves around and points pointy things and all that stuff. When I come to a lowercase t, I try to do all 4 corners of that little cross that it makes, just to make sure that it doesn't rip the T up. And I also, I don't know why I put this big piece on here, but I also try to cut this down so it's not so bad. Okay, so then I usually find a spot where I can, like this S down here, where I can come down and cut this into 2 pieces so that as I'm peeling it back, it peels down each side. It makes it a little bit easier. So you can see I have a side here and then a side on the other side. And then you just begin to slowly pull back. And what is left are the words that you're going to put on the spine of the album. Okay, and again it's backwards because this is what's going to be ironed on. So now we're going to move over to the iron. Okay, so here we are at the iron, and you do want to iron on a hard surface like a table, which is what I have. You do not want to use an ironing board because of the amount of pressure that you have to put on this. So I just have a pad, an ironing pad that covers the table, and you need an iron. This iron is an Oric, and it has a steam section and then a dry section. And so this is the indicator, so you want to put it on the dry section. If you don't have an iron that has those indicators, you can just use a regular iron, but just don't put any water in it. And that's what's called a dry iron. You're going to put your spine on here, and you're going to cover it with a cotton cloth. And we're going to try to iron it out to lay it a little flat. It won't be completely flat. But we want to do as best we can so that this can lay on here really well. So we're just going to dry iron it out as much as possible here. So you can see it's not completely flat, but it's better than it was. Okay, and now we're going to take our wording that we made, and we are going to find the middle of the top, increase it, the middle of the middle, increase it. So you see how I'm folding the letters on themselves till they match, so that I know where the middle of the letters are, not the middle of the clear plastic, but the letters. And then I take the spine and I put the 2 color edges together. You can see this edge and this edge to find the middle of the album. Increase it a little bit so we can find it right here. And then we're going to put the middle of what we did on our cutout. Going to find that and just kind of go down that with our finger. And then we're going to cover it with the cloth. This is a cotton cloth, that's what I suggest. And you're going to put the iron on it and put full pressure, as much body weight as you can put into it if possible, for 30 seconds. And then after 30 seconds, you're going to take the cloth off, and then you're going to begin to peel this back. It's a little hot, so be careful. Okay. And then you're going to put the cloth on it again for 15 seconds. And you have to do this for 15 seconds, and I'll show you why here in a minute. The purpose of this is to make sure that you see the pattern of the fabric through the vinyl. So again, you peel it back. And let me see if I can get a close up here for you so you understand what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see that very well. Yeah, there you can. Can you see the fabric coming up through the vinyl? And that's how you know that you have the vinyl on really well. And just inspect it. Like see a little bit in that S in the middle that's not showing through. So I might go over this another 15 seconds to get it to be like I want it. So that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to message me.